Okay, so today we worked on absolute value and expressions. So, first, comparing different numbers that use absolute value, such as 7 and absolute value of -7. And if we have like a box here, what would go in that, like a greater than, less than, or equal to sign? So, the first step would be to see if we can get these two to the same or at least the same type of number. And right now this is an absolute value. So we can simplify that to a 7. And so then we have two sevens, and that would be an equal to. Another type of problem would be ordering different numbers from least to greatest. So if there's like absolute value of -3, 4, absolute value of -5, 8, and 3, then, oh, and -8, for example. So first, if we're ordering from least to greatest, we would want to see which number is the smallest. And first, that would mean seeing if there's any negative numbers less than 0. And so far we only have one, which is -8. So we can start with -8. And then if we have all the numbers that are less than 0 out of the way, now if there's any zeros, which we don't, so now we know everything else is going to be above 0. So then would be to find the smallest number. Here we have 3, an absolute value of -3. And since the absolute value of -3 equals 3, those are the same. So we can just put those together and then get rid of these. Then the next number would be 4, and then the absolute value of -5, which equals 5, and then 8. So here we can see, even though this does say -5, it's absolute value, so we know it equals 5, and then this absolute value of -3 is actually equal to 3 and not -3. So being able to quickly identify that and compare it to other numbers that are either normal, positive, negative, absolute value is very helpful. And then another thing we worked on is expressions and having negative numbers. So something like -2 minus -3. So here we can say that we have -2, and then here we have minus -3. So that could be confusing for students, but the easiest way to look at that is, since, like in English, we have two negatives, so that's a double negative, and this would cancel out, and we have a +3. So then we have -2. Sorry, I'm gonna rewrite this. So we have our -2 plus 3 now. And this can also be confusing because a lot of students have maybe seen subtraction or things like that, but adding a negative number could be a little confusing. So it's easiest to rewrite this because, negative and subtraction can kind of be the same. So if we can flip these two numbers around, like the order, and start with the 3, and then plus -2 would be the same as just -2. So then this would be 1.